Obviously very proud. I've said in my speech, it's been a tough sort of 6 months, change of lifestyle a little bit. With the move to America, we're very happy over there, but yeah, obviously I've had 10 years training with Sean and used to training with him every day, and then you go a bit cold turkey. Have to do everything by myself, a new setup over there, and obviously I knew it was going to be a difficult transition, but obviously a few complications, got injured with my back a little bit, busy with the move, so it didn't go as smooth as we planned, but eventually we're really happy there. We're set up now. The university club I'm at is fantastic. We've had a lot of support from them, and it's just a matter of just getting that balance right now between not having Sean there. So I'm training with some American guys, Chris Gordon and Julian Ellingsworth, and trying to get as many hits as I can, and just try to adapt my training. And that's been the sort of the biggest key, just trying to get that balance right. Yeah, obviously I've been struggling the last few tournaments, and after losing early in Kuwait, I really worked hard. Funny thing is, I couldn't change my flight to get out of there, so I was pretty upset about that. So I really worked hard for 5 or 6 days and went down and watched the guys and training twice a day out there. And like I said earlier, I went back to some of the old school stuff, type of training, talked to Sean a lot, got back into my mental side, worked with Sean on some of his new AMOS program, and came in here sort of expecting to do well, but obviously I think no one gave me a shot this week, which is good in one way, it takes the pressure off. And even tonight, like, obviously I wanted to win and it was a good chance, but I felt sort of the pressure was on James a little bit, a lot of expectations, and the way he was playing the last 3 or 4 months, probably everyone thought he was going to win tonight. But good start and close to wrapping it up 3-love, but yeah, all credit he came back, and happy the way I played for the first 2.5 games, and then just the gutsy performance in the end. Typical, can never seem to win these big ones easy, and another nail biter, but I have a good record when it comes down to those close matches, so I probably felt more relaxed at 10-all in the 5th today than I did at the start of the 5th, so I knew if I could just get close, I just feel confident when it gets close, and I felt a bit out of it at the start of the 5th, but just tried to work hard and stay as close as I could, and hoping that I could get to a situation where it was 8-9-all, and then hoping I could pull it off.
Your new racket sponsor will be very pleased.
I think
will you be using all of the racket in future?
All of it? Well, the funny thing is, I've got 5 rackets with me, and all 5 are different weights. They're all the same shape. I've been working with them, very happy with it. It's one of the reasons I've changed. They've virtually let me design the racket myself. I've had a lot of input to it, and been working very closely and very happy with the relationship there. But yeah, I've got 5 different rackets, and this is the one I've used for the last 3 weeks, and it hasn't broken until the second last point there. So, and then I was tossing up which one to use, and the black one was sort of the closest one to this one. And even though I probably should have went for the gold to stay with it, I chose the black one, and hey, it came off in the end. So,
it certainly came off.
But, yeah, it's a great company. I'm very happy with them, and they're based in head base is in Montreal, and I'm going to obviously help them mainly in Canada and America at the moment, and now they're starting in the UK and helping them to sell the racket worldwide now. So obviously couldn't ask for a better start. Obviously now winning the British Open it should really kickstart the sales of the racket. So
it didn't look good for you after losing your 4th really 11-6. You looked as tiring. It was a hard game, so.
Yeah, it was. I think the last sort of period I've sort of struggled a little bit with my movement. I still feel like I'm fairly fit, but I feel the biggest challenge these days is the speed around the court to keep up with guys like Shabana and Rami and James, and it's not so much the overall fitness. I still feel I'm one of the fittest guys around, but it's that speed around the court, and it just seems to be like the first 2 games I felt fantastic, and then halfway through the third I felt good, but then at the fourth and the start of the fifth I felt slow on there, and I seemed, okay, I was getting a little bit tired, but it wasn't so much the exhaustion, it was more the speed around the court. I felt I sort of dropped off and didn't pick up as many balls as I should have been. And obviously it's something I've got to keep working on. I'm not obviously one of the youngest guys anymore, and that's probably going to be the biggest challenge in the next couple of years, to try to keep up with the speed of the game. It's not so much the endurance side. I feel naturally I'm one of the fittest guys on there, but it's more the speed and to be able to cover the court. That's the biggest thing, and that's probably where I dropped off the most, I felt, in the end of the third and the fourth game. And I sort of picked it up a little bit again in the fifth and managed to scramble. I think both of us were pretty tight at the end, and a lot of scrambling type of rallies.
We made a couple of uncharacteristic errors. One off the serve there, a mishap.
Yeah.
Every point was so valuable then.
Yep.
And,
that sort of, I think that sort of, it gave me a bit of a kick there, and yeah, I could see that. I could see he was getting a bit tight, and I feel like, yeah, when it gets close sometimes with him, you can force the errors, and for some reason he's a great shot maker, but probably under pressure, I've seen him a few times make mistakes at critical times in matches, and that's what I was, like I said before, I was just hoping to get into a situation where I could get close to him at the end and try to force him to hit mistakes. And he gave me, like you said, it was sort of 7-6, 7-all, he gave me an easy one, and then I was 8-7, and he gave me another easy one to get back to 8-all, and even though I was tired, obviously, to get that close, I was just trying to push. And
yes, he had, 9-6 or something. Looked over. He had that drop shot for the match, really. He just hit it on the 10 on the forehand there to win match ball. And you remember the one? It's 9-6, I think we had, and just tipped it, and you were able to come back after that.
Yeah, at that time I was just trying to tell him, again, just trying to get all the balls back and force him in. It was just that situation. If the ball went up, you're right, he would have went 10-6 up and would have had match point. But hey, it didn't go up, and
yeah,
that's obviously gets down to it. And maybe you might look back at that and say, hey, maybe it was too much to go for it, or too risky to go for that type of shot. Yeah. I saw him against Pete Barker in Kuwait at 9-all, hit the most beautiful drop shot you've ever probably seen in a similar situation. Off the back wall, held it and hit it perfectly into the nick, and it rolled. And that situation, that's the way he plays, obviously, and sometimes it comes off and sometimes it doesn't. And hey, what can I say? All credit, if he would have went up, and he would have probably won the match.
He's just
go up.
With court conditions after you, James, did it how many times did I not be slipper out there?
It wasn't too bad. It gets slippery, there's no question, but I thought he played it on a few times early in the match. I had him on the end of a lot of hard rallies, and he called to get it court swap, but then in the end I did the same thing, so I thought it evened up a little bit. I was a little bit frustrated a few times when he called for it, where I felt it wasn't necessary, but hey, I did the same in the fourth and the fifth a few times also. So it gets... Court's good, there's no problem, the floor's fine, but it's hot in there, it's a big arena, the courts are bright, the lights are bright. When the floor's dry, it's no problem, but when you get two big guys sweating a lot, after 10 minutes of play, you've got to just stop and clean it. But the court guys are really good, they're on quickly and off, so I don't think it's a major problem. I didn't really have, and to be honest, I'm normally one of the fussiest players with the floor, so this week I seem to find the floor no problem, so there was a few other players struggling more than I would.
There was a critical decision from the referee at 9-all. But how did you feel at that moment? Because you got a stroke. You got a stroke against you, and then it was match ball.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit harsh, that 9-all one against me. I thought that sort of went out. I thought that, hey, it wasn't much in the match anyway. There wasn't either. For two big guys to be able to play around each other, I think we did a pretty incredible job.
Yeah.
To have hardly any lets or any interference the whole match, and it was always going to happen. Like Sean told me to keep calm. He said it's not, even though we never really have problems with James, but he said you've got to expect it. And unfortunately, it did happen. I felt it was the wrong call. I think they went against sort of the way they'd been calling the match. but again, I just tried to keep calm, and it was important to keep focused at that time and not lose my cool. And I felt I kept pretty cool and calm all week, and that's been one of the reasons why I felt I've done well all week as well. So, but then, yeah.
Danny, you done? Oh,
Sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Shall I get the AP?
Yeah, there's something else then.
No, that's well, fantastic performance. I really enjoyed it actually.
Thanks, Ian.
A bit stressful for everyone. I suppose it's stressful for you too. Yeah. One of the best matches I've seen.